Okay, hey everybody. My first quote for chapter 11 is from 11:11. You are most likely to feel apprehensive about giving a presentation just moments before you deliver it. It is also helpful to remember that your anxiety begins to decrease as you begin delivering your speech. So, what the author is saying here is to just remember that as you keep speaking, it will get better and that your anxiety will diminish. I think it's more of a comfort level that you finally get into, your anxiety. Like they say, the author said in the book, how the anxiety, it will diminish and it's your adrenaline that's doing it to you. I get anxious every time I do these, every time. And it takes me a little bit to get rolling and get into them. And I guess my biggest thing is I just try to relax and breathe. And it's not a big deal. Try not to stress over it. This quarter's been really stressful for me, like a lot going on. I'm so looking forward to being done. So my second quote is from 11:21. A key variable that affects audience interaction is the amount of eye contact audience members have with the speaker and with one another. What the author is saying here is the more eye contact your audience is giving you, you know that they're paying attention. I get really frustrated. People nowadays, because cell phones, smartphones, iPads, all that kind of stuff, they're so concerned with themselves rather than taking time and shutting it off and just sitting and listening. We went to a family friend's daughter's recital. These are little kids. And I saw so many people with their cell phones out. And it was so distracting as an audience member, trying to watch these little kids that, they pour their heart out and work really hard, to do, to practice so they can perform well. And the fact that, these parents, it may not have been their kid up there, but who cares? Be respectful. My son's in drama. It's the same thing. I see it there too. Don't go. If you're that rude, you're that concerned with your phone or your status, you really need to take a second look and realize that there are other things that are important. Sometimes it's, being with somebody and they're just on their phone constantly. It's rude. It's the same thing as a speaker, and then they're in an audience and you're seeing, they're either talking to the person next to them or they're texting or they're browsing or whatever. You can see it and they're not paying attention, and it really hinders your performance because they're not willing to take a break and listen and actually get the information that could be really beneficial to them. So those are for chapter 11. So chapter 12, 12.2.1. The most important tip to remember if you do nothing else during a presentation is to look at your listeners. This kind of goes with the last one. You don't want to be like this, looking away or whatever. You need to engage with your audience. And sometimes, engage it, not just looking at your audience, but, actually engage with them, actually ask questions, actually see what kind of responses you can get. Even if you ask and you're expecting more of a nonverbal, like, show of hands, how many people, such and such, whatever. It still shows how much you actually care about their opinion and, I don't know. It's one of those where it's, you just really need to, look at your audience. Just like if you're giving a speech in class and, you have a small classroom, say there's 20 kids, whatever, and you're giving a speech. You want to, give eye contact to everybody. Don't just look at one in particular person, because other people do see that. You can tell that you're looking at a certain individual, or, you're looking above them, or, you're looking at everything else in the classroom rather than really looking at, the audience. So my last quote is 12.1.3. The key advantage of impromptu speaking is that you can speak conversationally because you didn't prepare your message ahead of time, while maintaining direct eye contact with your listeners. I've actually started doing this with my videos here. I think it's easier for me to think off the top of my head rather than writing everything down, trying to memorize what I wrote. My anxiety just it's worse, and I get more stressed, and I'm like that I'm stumbling through what I'm trying to say. I'm like, okay, great, I can write it, get my opinion out there, but I think that I focus too much on that rather than actually talking to you guys and actually going through and figuring out what's the best response that I should give. I think the authors, saying that, just use an outline. You have your basic points. If you know the material enough, you should be able to do that impromptu, so you have that conversational style rather than that monotone, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end thing. So it's great if you can memorize, but if you're not doing a play, in my opinion, I don't see the point. I think you're better off being able to roll with it. You can adapt easier because you're not focused on your memorized speech. So I don't know, that's my opinion. Everybody has their different ways of doing things. Maybe it's easier for you to memorize it and just regurgitate it. And then I don't know, I think I get more stressed because I fumble. And while I'm trying to think, okay, what did I write down? Oh, that's not what I meant to say, and then I'm focusing too much on what I was supposed to memorize rather than on the content that I'm trying to get out. So that's what I think. Hopefully we're almost done. We have one more of these and then our main one. Good luck, everybody, and I look forward to watching all your videos. Bye.